I think either presidential outcome, as long as the Senate stays the way it is, the market goes higher.
If we have a Biden victory, which a lot of the headlines as of right now are pointing to, like, okay, he's ahead. If we have a Biden victory and he takes office in January, over the next foreseeable, future in his administration, what can we expect in terms of that kind of thing, and what the international policies and everything, and what ramification does that have on our economy and the stock market, financial markets in general?
And say it's not a blue wave. In other words, Biden wins the presidency, but the Senate stays Republican. The market advances strongly. If Trump wins and maintains the Senate, the market advances strongly, makes new highs. I think either presidential outcome, as long as the Senate stays the way it is, the market goes higher. The danger here is that if Trump wins, but they lose the Senate, that's going to create consternation, because remember, they tried to impeach him again. They can take it a little further the next time, even though they won't win because they need 2/3 of the House and Senate in order to impeach him. They may try again, and that doesn't help the market generally. So that's number one. If there's a blue wave, I think initially the market goes higher. In other words, Biden wins and gets the Senate. Initially, the market goes higher, but soon after, I feel the market will run into trouble. And the simple reason for why the market would go higher is no matter who wins, the odds favor a higher market, because whoever wins, there's still going to be massive stimulus put into the market, regardless of who's the president.
Right.
And so with all that stimulus, all the stimulus that hasn't yet to be put into the economy from the first round of stimulus, all the money that's sitting on the sidelines from investors that don't really know what to do, combined with a Federal Reserve that has low interest rates, never fight the Fed, remember?
Right, exactly.
Too many winds that are blowing north for stocks. So therefore, stock market goes higher. A vaccine will come regardless of who's the president. And that means once the vaccine comes out, people will take it. Regardless of what it is, people will take it. And once that occurs, oil prices and entertainment stocks and restaurants will start to reopen, and there could be some explosive changes and increases in value in these beaten up stocks like Exxon or AT&T or Carnival Cruise Lines. There's a lot of value out there once the vaccine comes.
Right. Regarding the vaccine, real quick, I was talking about this actually with Bonnie. Bonnie's my girlfriend. Kelly knows her well. We're all friends here. And I was like, when the vaccine comes, and because she was like, I don't know, the vaccine, is that trustworthy or whatever? I'm like, and my comment was, you know what? I don't think it really matters, because when the vaccine comes out, people might not all take it, but they'll behave as if they did. So they'll behave as if all of a sudden, like, people around them have, the herd immunity, and they will book trips and all the everything that you mentioned. You might get it. You might get that behavior from the market, from the consumers, even if they didn't take it.
And also just keep in mind, again, no matter who's president, Biden or otherwise, the issue that Biden is used for to advocate why he should be the president is that Trump, a large issue is that he mishandled the virus.
Right.
But at the end of the day, what we've learned is that the virus is not deadly. It is about 3 times worse than the flu.
Right.
So anybody that cares to go to the CDC.gov, if you can trust that institution, which I still do, data is data. Remember, Flip, like myself, I come from a mathematical background. I am data-driven completely, just data. Anybody that wants to look at that data closely would notice that 99.965% of the people live. So it's very discouraging and disheartening when everybody talks about the 250,000 people that passed, but you have to remember that 99.9 0.95% or 330 million people still live.
It's the way that the information is conveyed, right? Because it's like if you were already sick and you were already vulnerable to any kind of sickness, what's at all, and then you got COVID, then all of a sudden it's not a correlation anymore, it's a causation.
That's correct. And keep in mind, remember,
right?
Most of the deaths that occurred early and that affected the market and the language of politicians occurred when doctors didn't even know the correct therapies. Nowadays, the therapies are already good. And 85, you saw a statistic, it's been mentioned that 85% of the people that catch it, they're not dying. You see 70-year-old people, the ones most at risk, they're not dying because the therapies are so much better. The doctors know you don't put people on ventilators. You don't do the things that we did at first. So actually the lethality rate will come down. And by the way, I do have experience in this kind of data because this is something that every stat student would look at, is the way a virus spreads, its lethality, its spreadability. These are the test questions you would have in most stat classes that are even in an undergraduate level that you would have to take and manage these kind of questions of how to answer data questions with the spread versus lethality of a virus. They're just common questions. And this is proving so much that I think at the end of the day, 10 years from now, we'll look back at it and we'll realize this is no worse than the flu. And it'll be given to, we'll get with our flu shots that we get every year, that you'll see that the coronavirus would be one of the items that are in that vaccine. Keep in mind that flu shot is just a vaccine against 5 different strains of the flu. And once this vaccine for the coronavirus is out, it'll be just another strain that they give you a flu shot for. And that's how this will unwind itself. And we'll look back and realize at the end of the day, I think we've mismanaged it. So going back to politics and the market, at the end of the day, blue wave is more dangerous, but I do see higher equity prices after the results are known. And I expect the results to be known by the end of the week for the most part.